Hi, good evening everyone. I'm Daryl, and today I'm going to share to you on how I guide my students on answering comprehension questions, especially for UPSR English paper, question 22 until question 25. I'm going to tell you on how I actually guided my students in answering these comprehension questions with these simple steps. Most of the time, I will always ask my students to identify first the answers for the passage based on the keyword or clue they have read from the questions. Only then they will just go and find for the answers to the passage using the keyword they have learned earlier from the questions. And after that, they are going to underline the answers on the passage, and then they are going to write down the question number slightly at the left of the sentence. I would say this way is quite conventional. However, it seems quite practical for my students, especially in helping them to make minimal errors. And after that, they are going to identify whether the answer should be in A, B, or C. I'm going to explain to you further what is A, B, or C in the next slide. And last but not least, after they have already completed all these three steps, they're going to answer in complete sentences. As what I've mentioned earlier, the A, B, or C, just try to imagine the purple line right in front of you is a sentence. And these three red arrows are located at different places, showing that the answers could be placed at three different places of the sentence. I'm going to signify it as A, B, or C, whereby A signifies depan, B means tengah, and C shows hujung. Okay, and these three, we are going to help the students on where to put the answers, because normally students can spot the answer, but they are not able to bring the answer up and make it into a complete sentence to answer the question. It's A, B, and C. Just to show you an example to further understand, just for the example, I ask, what is your name? Now, when I ask this question, what is your name? The answer have two possibilities, whether to put it at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. So there are actually two options for this. I could be able to answer, my name is Daryl, or Daryl is my name. So here, the answer have two options for placing, which is the end of the sentence and beginning of the sentence. And next, number two, where was she when the mother was cooking? Now, this answer, it should be placed in the middle of the sentence, especially when you are trying to answer in a complete one. Just for example, she was maybe doing gardening when the mother was cooking. So here, the answer should be at the B. Alright, let's just look at the sample comprehension. This is a sample comprehension that I adapted from the Year 4 activity book. Okay, now just imagine that they have already read the text, they have already have all this prior knowledge on identifying the tenses. Then we will just help them to guide them answering the questions. Let's try to look at the first question. Number 1. What is the planet nearest to the Sun? As based on the steps that I've mentioned earlier, the first step is that students have to identify the keywords for the question. Let's look for the keywords from the question here. So I will assume the keywords here are planet nearest to the Sun. So let's look back to the text. Let's find where is the planet nearest to the Sun. Planet nearest to the Sun. Okay, here is here. Alright, it should be at the first paragraph, first line. So straight away, we ask the students to underline and then put the question number. Okay, It is advised that the students to actually read the whole text and understand it first. However, for my year 4 students, their understanding is quite limited, so at the meantime, they are actually just doing a quick scan and then they just look for the keyword and underline the correct answer. It might seem very risky, but I think this is a baby step for them to further improve them to really understand the text and answer it in the complete sentences. Okay, so this would be the answer for number 1, whereby the Mercury is the planet nearest to the Sun. So they have already underlined and they have already known that the answer is at paragraph 1, line 1. So we go back to the questions. Now we try to guide them on how to answer in complete sentence, right? So we try to complete the sentence first. What is the planet nearest to the Sun? So if we complete the sentence, the answer should be either at the A or at the C. Okay, which means it's either at the depan or at the hujung. Okay, so this would be the possible sentence. Is the planet nearest to the Sun? So I try to use the example of A, which means the answer will be placed in front of the sentence. So when we know that the answer is Mercury, this would be the complete answer. Mercury is the planet nearest to the Sun. Okay, so next, let's look at another example. Why is usually Mercury hard to see without a telescope? Why is usually Mercury hard to see without a telescope? Now, I always tell my students, when there is a why, there must be a because. Because most of the time, when we ask WH questions, the WH will not exist anymore when they are answered in the sentence. So why automatically will be converted to because. Okay, so as usual, we look for the keyword first. Mercury, hard to see. Okay, hard to see, hard to see. So let's see if there's any more sentence. Hard to see, hard to see, hard to see. Alright, it should be here. Okay, they actually rephrase the sentence. It becomes difficult. They replace it with a synonym, but it's okay. There's still another word to see here. So I assume this will be the answer. So students just straight away underline it. Okay. So this will be the answer. Because it is often blocked by the glare of the sun, Mercury can be difficult to see. Okay. Let's go back to the questions. They know the answer already. Okay, it's because of the glare. Now we are going to write it in a complete sentence. Mercury is usually hard to see without a telescope because what's the answer just now? The answer was it is often blocked by the glare of sun. So it is obviously that the answer here is placed at the location of C, which is the end of the sentence. Okay, now let's look at the last question. Okay, what do you think this question will be placed at? Just now, we have already a sample of placing the answer in A, placing the answer in C. So, the most probably, the final question, the answer should be placed in the B, which means the middle, the tengah. Okay. Now, let's look for the keyword first. What is Mercury made up of at its core? What is Mercury made up of at its core? Okay, so I will assume the make up at its core, alright, as the keywords. Make up at its core, make up at its core. Let's just have a quick scan. Alright, it should be at the third paragraph, line 1. Mercury is made up of rock with iron at its core. Obviously, the words missing here are rock with iron. So, straight away we ask students to underline, put the number on. Okay, so we go back to the questions. Then we try to complete the answers because we try to complete the sentence because the answer is already identified. So here, this should be the complete sentence. Mercury is made up of what at its core? So what is replaced with rock with iron? So the answer is already substituted in. So here it is formed the complete the answers in the complete sentence. Mercury is made up of rock with iron at its core. So this is basically a simple step sharing from me, and if you would like to know more about all those teaching materials that I've shared, feel free to follow me on my Facebook. You can just type Mr. Darryl on Facebook search and kindly like my page. With that, I'll say thank you and see you around.